Hello, my lovely audience. So then, we reached 300 subscribers faster than I thought. Like, good grief, you're mad lads. Really? So, yeah. Continuing with this what if, it got over 1,000 views. 1,400 views. Last I checked, maybe it's more, maybe it's less, I don't know. I was very tired when I checked. It was like last night when I posted that Rogante video. Anyway, yes, with that out of the way, let's get on with the what if. So, resuming from when we last left off, Izuku has been attempting to gather some money. Now, his primary goal is to get to a point where he can summon upper rank 5 Gyoko. Why? Because that's how Muzan made his money back in the day. Gyoko has the habit of making pots, which can be sold for a decent amount of cash. So, yes. Izuku would continuously eat enough people, just quietly in order to, get up to that point. Now, Japan would start noticing all the people going missing and would begin to, bolster heroes throughout the city, resulting in more disappearances, if I'm being honest. Like, all they're doing is feeding them. But the Ubashiki family and the Demon Slayers would begin more actively hunting down demons, because, once again, people are disappearing at an accelerated rate. Now, yeah. Anyway, so yes. I don't know if I did this in the last video, so I'm gonna do it now. Deku would sigh, taking a sip from his mug filled with human blood, and say, I've been needing to do this for a few days now. I'm just gonna feel very fucking tired after. He would chop off his hand, throw it. He's in, like, a big old area. As from his hand, his hand would break into a bunch of pieces. 6 pieces to be exact. Well, not 6, more like 5 pieces. Yeah, each finger would break apart and grow into Upper Moon 6. No, not Upper Moon 6. It would grow in. The pieces would grow into Lower Moon 6, 5. No, Lower Moon 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1 Enmu. Yeah, all those lower moons. As all of them are now kneeling on the ground, traumatized by what Muzan did, and they are now quivering in fear because they have just been summoned after being killed. Presumably to be killed again because they all disappointments. And Mu is especially upset with himself because he let himself get killed by that kid. Izuku would stumble back, sitting down on a chair, very comfortable chair, as he would say to them all, resting his hand on his fist, crossing his legs, he would say, "Arise," just say, "Get up." They would all do so, still looking down and bowing, just standing. Izuku would look at them irritatedly, grabbing the bridge of his nose before saying, "Look, I'm not gonna kill you. Oh, I wouldn't have wasted the energy summoning you here to just kill you again." Most of the lower moons would stop shaking and let out a sigh of relief. Emu is quite upset at this, just like, I failed you and now I'm being. Yes. I see you're still as sick as ever, Master. I failed you and you've decided to let me live with that mistake. He's just kind of upset now. And Moon. Deku would sigh, drinking some more human blood. He's quite tired after that, and he's aware that he has to summon both Gyoko and Daki after this. So he's, it's like one of those extremely annoying tasks. Deku would just sigh, look at them all, and say, okay, you're dismissed. Get yourselves all settled in and we'll talk after. The lower moons lifting their heads up, bowing again, and then just running. Like, majority of them are escaping as fast as they can. And Enmu is just kind of dragging his feet, his body, like, slouched, dragging his feet, slowly walking away. Izuku would rub his head, extremely annoyed. Well, he would look around to see if either Shigaraki, Enmu, or Wonder Wise is there. He would sigh once he realizes that none of them are there and saying, great. As well, he would nibble on a human hand that he just has with him, munching it down, and then chopping off his hand again, this time the hand turning into a feminine one, as, I don't know what Daki's tentacle things are. Like, I'm just gonna call them fabric tentacles. As fabric tentacles would begin to grow out of the hand, the hand would regenerate into Daki. Daki's currently kneeling, like full on the ground kneeling. Just in a ball on the ground, kneeling type beat. Deku would sigh again, grabbing the bridge of his nose. Again, as he would just rub it for a few minutes, Daki not daring to speak. You can get up, Daki. Daki would stumble up, quite teary-eyed, like, please don't kill me, I didn't, I'm sorry, Deku would sigh again, putting his hand on his face, like, everyone I summon here always has that reaction. Why? Like, you're being summoned, so thus you're being given a second chance. Just, please leave. I'm way too tired for this shit. He would say, rubbing the bridge of his nose. I'll call you again when I'm, ready. But also, next time I call you, please put on something less revealing. I have kids that I need to look after, and I don't really want to explain to them how babies are made. Daki would bow multiple times repeatedly, like she would be like one of those birds drinking water as she's just slowly backing up and out of, like, the courtyard of Deku's estate. I could take a nap right now, or I could summon Gyoko. You know what, that's what I'm going to do. His hand would turn into a pot, the pot would fall off, roll away, and Gyoko would sprout from it. As Deku, who's just about to pass out, like feeling like that, would just look at Gyoko and say, carry me to my bed. I was expecting. I wasn't expecting that. It's the great Demon King Izuku over here. Tired. Gyoko, I'm not in the mood for your shit. Just note, because I'm nice than Muzan does not mean I will not squish you the first chance I get. Well, if you step on my toes too much. Understand? Deku would say, hey, glaring at Gyoko. Gyoko would say, alright, alright. Gyoko would go back in his pot, roll over to Izuku, just kind of spring out of the pot, pick him up, and teleport him to his bed, putting him in it. Deku, before passing out, would just say, No, he wouldn't say anything. He would just sigh and pass out on the bed. Well, this is certainly new. Well, I hope to see you again, boss. Gyoko would just put his hands together, waving at Deku's unconscious body, and teleport out. Shigaraki, who's just wandering around the halls, would see, Izuku passed out on his bed, would walk over to the bed, climb on the bed, and just sort of pass out next to him. Rui would walk by, see this, get angry, like, oh, you ain't doing that, and also climb on the bed, and just to upstage Shigaraki would fall asleep on Deku's, chest, on his stomach and chest. Wonder Wise would just kind of casually walk by, look at them, smile, and then just also climb in the bed with them. Inadvertently, it's like a full-on family nap. I just said that because I find it cute. Time skip a couple of weeks. Deku has begun giving names to all the demons he makes, unlike Muzan, who only gave names to the upper and lower ranked demons. Izuku's giving new names to all of the demons he makes, just to show that he, as their king, cares. Now then, just want to get this quickly out of the way. This video may end up being shorter than usual. I apologize. Don't really have that much to really say about that. My throat hurts. Anyway, so Rui would pull Shigaraki to the side one day and just, look at him, annoyed. He would tap his foot against the ground. Like that. No, that's better. He would tap his foot against the ground, glaring at Shigaraki before saying, look, just because Izuku's a nice man does not mean he's your father. He's mine. He's mine. I was here first, and you ain't stealing him from me. Shigaraki would just kind of raise his hands, like, hey, I ain't stealing him from you, but, if the shoe fits, wear it. What does that mean? Rui would say, getting annoyed, puffing his cheeks out, and, crossing his arms. Just saying, if I turn out to be the favorite, not my fault. Rui would get even more annoyed, like, oh yeah, the stray would be the favorite, yeah, totally. Hey, who you calling a stray? Shigaraki would respond with getting annoyed. And besides, why haven't you pulled Wonder Wise aside? He would point, to the room behind them, where Wonder Wise is just drawing with crayons, until he would take a crayon and shove it up his nose, sneeze out the crayon, and then shove it back in, just slowly put it back in his nose. Shigaraki and Rui seeing this, Shigaraki would just look at it, wonder-wise, before saying, fair point. Fair point. Yeah, the two of them, the moment's gone of them fighting. They're now just confused on Wonderwise's existence. Now this is like at 10 at night. Now cut to outside the manor, where they live. Deku is in the courtyard wearing a traditional Japanese kimono, kind of like Rui over here. He would snap his fingers, and two demons would appear behind him. One of them, a ravid-looking female, not like Brain.exe has stopped. A female that has a similar getup to a wild animal, ruffed hair, one of her eyes is covered, and she has a massive grin on her face, her teeth as sharp as daggers. Whilst the other demon that's with her is her polar opposite. He's standing upright, wearing a suit, even has a cane, and has a grin on his face. The two demons would bow down on one knee, saying in unison, "You called for us, Master?" Izuku would look at them and smile, politely saying, "Oh, you're here. Great. Now then, I require a favor of the two of you. Now, what this favor is I want at least one of you to get into Class 1A of UA. I don't care if the other one does the business course, gets in 1B. I just want one of you to get into 1A. The scraggly, more ravid girl would ask, "Why? May I ask, why, Master?" Deku would smile, saying, "Don't be so formal, call me Izuku. But, you see, there's a certain blonde freak. You'll know him when you see him. Now, what I want from at least one of the two of you is for you to hurt him. I don't want him to know who did it. I just want the two of you to make his life at UA suck. I want him to feel pain there, emotional and physical." Izuku would begin getting a bit more intimidating, losing his typical calming and enthusiastic demeanor to a much more annoyed and angry one quite similar to that of Muzan Kibutsuji. The moon would glow behind him, covering his face, the only thing you see being his red glowing eyes, as tentacles would slowly emerge from his back as he would continue. I want the two of you to not only hurt him without him knowing, I want you to get close to him, give him the desire and feeling of safety, and when he's just on the brink, just on the precipice, turn on him too. Make him feel pain. Make him feel sadness. I want you, just when he is at his lowest, to kick him whilst he's down. Also, along with that, if, my reasoning is too selfish, you can also scout out a few decent demons at UA. A few people who crave power, and a few people who would make decent demons. Along with that, I would love to be informed if UA was to start making progress on figuring us out. So, you have your secondary objectives and your primary objectives. And just so you don't fail me, a set of tentacles would emerge from Deku's back, heading to the two demons, hitting them in the shoulders, as blood would be transferred from Izuku to them. Deku would put his finger on his cheek and say, "Just a wee bit of insurance to make sure you succeed." The two demons would convulse for a while, eventually recovering, the female demon would ask, would say, give me a moment. She would say, "Thank you, Master, for this great opportunity, but may I ask why you have chosen us and not one of the lower ranking, not one of the lower moons?" She would stay still, a bit twitchy from the blood. Deku would smile and put another finger on his cheek before saying, "Simply put it, the moons don't exactly have registration in, Japan. They, they don't exactly have citizenship either. They supposedly died over 100 years ago, so getting them all the necessary requirements to get into UA would most likely cast some suspicion on us. Along with that, majority of them are too old or too young looking in appearance to possibly attend UA. Remember, they are centuries old, and UA is a high school. That plus, majority of them don't even know how to spell or basic math. Feudal Japan. They're from feudal Japan. They don't know how to spell or even read or do math, so best if I got someone from this time to do it. The male one would pitch up, male demon would pitch up and thank Izuku. Now then, let's get into those demons' names. The male one is called Daki, and the female one is called Susanoo. Yeah. I just don't want to refer to them as male or female anymore. So that's the names Izuku gave them. It's not their original names, but it's the names Izuku gave them. Aki and Susanoo. They would inform UA of the fact that they can't go into the sunlight, so thus they will be tested at night. They managed to get in to UA, both of them managing to get into Class 1A. The two of them are quite excited at the fact that they both succeeded the task. Now, the two of them may seem like polar opposites, but they are actually, give me a moment. They are actually best friends. The two of them had run away together a couple years prior, and eventually ended up meeting Izuku and being turned into demons by him. But the two of them are quite close. We will get into their backstories later on in the What If, possibly in future pods, possibly in this one. Well, definitely at least one in this one. So then, time skip about, a few days. No, not a few days. A few days, before UA. They have been admitted in, but, a few days until school starts. Bakugo's walking throughout the dark streets of Tokyo, thinking about Izuku, and thinking about the quote-unquote dream where he destroyed Izuku's body. Bakugo hadn't dared to try and make contact with Izuku again after that, out of fear of the dream actually being real. But as he's consumed by his thoughts, he would smell a thick irony smell. He would follow the scent, it's quite a strong one, and he would see a pale man with no shirt but a jacket on. He has green hair and strange markings on his body and long pants. He's crouched over multiple human bodies as he's munching away at them, eating them. Bakugo would be sickened by this, and as he would begin to sweat, the distinct scent of nitroglycerin would alert the man as he would turn his head and smile at Bakugo, standing up. But as he begins walking forward, a flash of memories from, well, Izuku's, blood. The memory cells within Izuku's blood would come flashing into the man's memory, similar to Yorichi. Like, this is Yorichi kind of PTSD. But instead of, feeling fear, he feels anger, hatred, delight, and joy. Hatred and anger towards the blonde individual who hurt his master so badly. His master, the one who saved him from his slump in his life, the one who gifted him eternal life, and the one who's just been such a caring individual to him. Deku has pulled an Ubashiki. He has a very close relationship with each demon he makes. He makes sure to check up on them, and he treats them like family. Now, the reason this demon feels joy is because there's a man who hurt his master. He can hurt and kill his master. He can bring Bakugo's head to Izuku and will most likely be rewarded with more of his sweet, delectable blood. I know, creepy. Give me a moment. The man would crouch down on the ground, jumping up and jumping against the wall, jumping off the wall and charging at Bakugo. Bakugo jumping back and blowing up the man's face, using a bit too much of his quirk, blowing off a piece of the man's head. The man's head would regenerate within a few seconds, as the guy would smile and say, "Quite unique, isn't it? Brings back some memories, doesn't it? But just note, I'm not letting you get away so easily. I'm gonna bring your head to my master, and he will reward me with much more of his blood." Psychotic individual in front of Bakugo would charge at him again, trying to swing at his legs and to knock him down. Bakugo jumping back and blowing off the man's leg, the leg regenerating within a few seconds and him keeping up the attack. Now, Bakugo would begin to get, backed up. They're currently fighting in the street, and Bakugo cannot keep up with the man's speed or strength. Bakugo would look to the side, notice a police station, and begin running towards the station, calling out to, the police to try and help him. The officer, seeing this, would press his face against the window, seeing Bakugo being chased by this guy jumping up and trying to grab at him. Bakugo jumping back, and the man jumping over him. Bakugo, as the man's lands face first on his face, face first on the ground, would run around him and enter the police station, closing the doors. The man would laugh, saying, "You think you can escape to the station? You think the police can do anything? You literally blew off a piece of my head. What are they gonna do?" He would jump through the window, attempting to grab at Bakugo. He's targeting Bakugo. One of the police would pull out his gun and shoot it through the man's stomach. The injuries within seconds, regenerating, the bullets seemingly flying out of him like they're practically bouncing off him. As he would keep on going after Bakugo, some police would restrain him, attempting to hold him back using their quirks. Bakugo would run out the police station as screams of the police could echo behind him. After an hour, he stops running and is just breathing heavily, leaning against a wall, him sweating profusely. Cut back to the demon that was chasing Bakugo. He just finished with the last of the policemen, as he would yell, "Damn it! He got away and his sense already dissipated. Fuck that bastard. I failed, Master. At least it wasn't a task he gave me, but still." The man would feel a great sadness in his heart at the fact that he couldn't catch the bastard. But at least I have a half-decent meal, he would say, crouching down and beginning to gorge himself on the policeman of the station. Bakugo feels absolutely shit, like he has some severe survivor's guilt of the events. He would report the event to the police, the non-killed police, and yeah, so on and so forth. But Bakugo would be suffering from a massive amount of survivor's guilt, and the words the villain had said are echoing through his mind about when he blasted off his head. Seem familiar? Bakugo's breath would become heavier as he was thinking, shallower and quicker as he's thinking about it. Familiar? Did I actually kill Izuku? Did I actually blow him to bits? No, he was probably just lying or something like that. I couldn't have killed Izuku. My old best friend. That would be Bakugo's response. First day of UA. Bakugo wouldn't even give me a moment. Okay, I'm gonna have to make this quick. First day of UA. Bakugo doesn't bother, putting his feet up. He's being obedient. Not an asshole. He's too busy contemplating life. Susamaru, I think I named the female Daki. Yeah, two of them would walk in, blah blah blah. Walk into class 1A. Aki looking at Momo, Momo looking at him, as Momo has one word on her mind. Brother? Is that you? Yep, I gave Momo a brother in this what if. That being Aki. And yes, he ran away. Anyway, so yes, I will get into that, the next part of the what if. Goodbye, my lovely, lovely audience. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. Well, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye!